Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second video. In that first video, what I did is I showed you the very, very basics of how to download this Adobe Illustrator template and how to save the file. Have I shown you how to save the file? Maybe I haven't. So to save the file, obviously I'm going to go File, Save As. Yeah, I already did, didn't I? I showed you how to set up the workspace. What I've actually done is I've just deleted a lot of these. I'm going to close that and I'm going to close that. So I've just got the layers and the properties open, and I haven't got all those other ones that were down there, yeah, which enables me to see all these quick actions, and I want to use those quick actions in a minute. So as I said before, this image here that I've downloaded off the internet is pixels. It's just little bits of black and white and gray, yeah. The laser cutter doesn't understand what that is, yeah. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to just move up here and move that across there, and I'm going to go to quick actions, and I'm going to do an image trace. You're going to do this a bunch of times, I assume, when you're bringing things in off the internet. So you need to make sure that you can do this, and you can do this confidently, okay? The problem with doing this image trace is that if it's black and white, so if I choose a silhouette, it'll be very, very easy for Adobe Illustrator. If I hit on default, yeah, it'll be very, very easy for it to break it up, okay, and see that that's black and that's white. So if I zoom in now, you can see that that's a straight line. Yeah, that's a straight line. It's not pixels of color. Yeah. What I need to do now is I need to expand it. Yeah. And then what I normally do is I'd hit ungroup, and I keep hitting ungroup until there's nothing else to group. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a marquee and draw it around there. And I know that I've just grabbed this black part here and the white background there. Because look, if I drag this like this, you can see it's there. So that's the white background. I'm going to delete that because I do not want that. Yeah. All these things here, I can keep them, I can move them around, I can do whatever I want with them. Yeah. But in actual fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of those things there, and I'm going to group them. I can also use Command G to group. I can use Command Shift G to ungroup. I'm going to group them like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the fill to red. Please make sure that if you want something to be etched on the laser cutter, that it is a red color, okay? Otherwise it won't work. I'm going to keep the height and width proportions. I'm going to choose the larger number, that's 63. And I'm going to make that 30 millimeters. Okay, why am I going to make that 30 millimeters? Because I reckon that will fit perfectly. Oh my God, look, it'll fit perfectly into there. Yeah. What I'm going to do to start off with, I just want to show you something. Those two things there, the outside and that hole, I'm going to group those. Yeah. And now I'm going to move that. That's also grouped. If I take those two objects, the grouped lines and the grouped unicorn, what I can do is I can align them horizontally and I can align them vertically so they look perfect together. Yeah, that looks pretty good. In actual fact, I'm going to make that a little bit larger. I'm going to make that, I'm going to see what it looks like when it's 40. Yeah. See, it's going to stick out, isn't it? No, it's no good. So, okay, so I'll make it 35. And maybe what I'll do is I'll move it a bit like that, yeah. So it still fits. Or maybe what I'll do is I will rotate it so it sits there like that. Fits even better. That looks good, doesn't it? Let's try giving it a vertical align, and let's see whether the horizontal align will work. Yeah, maybe move that down a little bit. Okay, that's it. It's ready to go. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to layers. I'm going to check that the raster stuff. If I turn my eyebrow off, yep, that will work. And I've got my cut, that will work. Okay, I'm going to take that. I'm going to option click. I'm going to move it over to there. You can see it's far too big for that. So let's go to properties and let's change it to 30. Yeah, oh, that looks great, doesn't it? Maybe we'll turn it around like that. Yeah. And maybe I'll move it a bit like that so that it fits in there. Maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller again. Maybe make it 20. Yeah. Maybe make it bigger than that. You can see what we can do this for ages until we can get it the right size. Yeah. But I'm pretty happy with that. And I'll be ready to send that to. Oh, that was great. Okay. I'll be ready to send that to the laser cutter. Yeah. A couple of things before I go. Make sure that goes up into the top left-hand corner. Yeah, make sure that one goes up into the top left-hand corner. And then I'm going to go File, Save As, save it on my computer. I'm going to save it as Mr. Dawes keychain, yep, .ai. I'm going to save it into downloads. I'm going to hit save. Okay. Yes, please. Okay. So now I've saved it. Yeah. Now I want to share it to the laser cutter. If you want it to laser cut, you're going to need to go to Google Chrome. Go Google Chrome. You're going to need to go to your Google Classroom, and you can see there's a laser job request form. Yeah. If I click on that, that will get to the laser job request. Okay. So if I go Mr. Dawes, I'm grade 8-1, yeah, and I would like it to be fluoro green. That all depends on whether or not I've got fluoro green, but let's just say I have. Have I checked that my paths, shapes, etc. are in the right layer? Yes. So red is etch, black is vector. Yes, I have. I know I've done that. Have I checked that the right size holes for my piece? Yes, I have. This is to attach the base. This is slightly different. This is to do with your LED one. Special requests, don't worry about that. File upload. I'm going to add the file, a copy. Where is it? I had it in downloads. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it. It will click and it will drag. It's there. I'm just going to say test, don't print, just so that Ivan doesn't print it, and then I'd hit submit. Okay. You'll need to do this for every job that you want submitted to the laser cutter, please. Okay, so just make sure that every job that you want to be laser cut goes through this process first. If you want to check it with me first, your Adobe Illustrator file, before it goes through to the printer, please do. But we don't want to be wasting materials, and we don't want to be wasting our time cutting things outside of class when it doesn't need to be cut. Okay, so let me just go back to my Adobe Illustrator. So I'm hoping in the last two videos, I've shown you how to download and save a file. I've talked about the size of it being A4 and the dimensions being millimeters. I've shown you how to set up the workspace and the toolbars. I've talked a little bit about layers. I've talked to you about the etching and the vectoring. Yeah. I've talked to you about shapes, whether they are hexagons, whether they're circles, whether they're squares, whether they're stars. I've showed you how you could select directly or generally, yeah, using the two different arrow keys. I've talked about aligning things, grouping things, and then sending things to the laser cutter. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this will help you get yourselves set up and be successful for the start of the year with the laser cutter. Please, if you've got any questions, please ask me. But it's imperative that you can follow and understand this so that you can be independent in the classroom moving forward, okay?